Welcome to the Into 99 podcast, where we got 99 cards because Commander is number one. I am your hostess with the mostest, Necrozak, and joined, as always, by my beautiful, wonderful, amazing two co-hosts and Brian.
Ooh!
Hurts.
I'm just kidding,
I thought you were going to say
Brian's-
you're joined by your beautiful, wonderful hetero life mate, Brian.
He is. We spend a lot of time together. I vibe with Brian super hard. He's a good guy. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about
Today's
ruining people's
episode, Brian.
lives. we're here to talk about ruining people's
That's an
lives.
intervention.
And,
Yeah, today's episode, Brian. Guys, stop bullying him.
Here's the thing.
He doesn't like to die every game first.
We're here to talk about cultivating your play group. Find yourself a guy named Brian. He's great.
and kill him first every time.
Everyone is
It'll bring your play group closer together.
Yep. We always know where the die is going to roll. It's Brian.
Hope, what are we actually talking about today?
Baby's first Stax deck.
Yeah, so
I'm very excited. This is actually one of my decks, and it is the commander that I was the most excited to build out of all of Commander Legends. It's Bant Dragon. It's Amareth, which is pretty toit. So before I get into the theme of the deck, I wanted to talk about what the dragon actually does. So it's Amareth the Lustrous.
Very lustrous.
Very lustrous. Especially on that sweet,
the Aurora Borealis back there.
on that sweet edge foil. Get out of town. So it's 3 colorless and Bant, so green, white, blue. For a 6/6 dragon with flying, whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it in your hand. So when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was building an Enchantress deck. I don't know why. I was just like, it's happening.
just seemed like what you need.
I'm like, I love dragons, and I don't have an Enchantress deck, so it was just.
Enchantments are so much fun.
I know.
Well, it makes sense though, right? Because when I think Enchantress, I think Bant. It just seems to be the best colors
Bant
for it.
enchantments.
Yeah, Bant enchantments. It literally.
Well, let's talk about that ability really quickly before we go on. It is really, really strong if you have any way to manipulate the top deck or control it. But just even having the knowledge of what is on top is very important. So even if you're hitting a land, you know, okay, there's an enchantment up top, so I'll play an enchantment. I get to draw another enchantment. It is a really strong ability, and it's a really unique ability. It kind of functions a little like Kodama's ability of any permanent entering, but not putting things in, more of drawing, refilling your hand. And that's one of the best things you can do in Commander, right? We say draw as king all the time.
Well,
Yep.
and especially to note that it's any permanent. It's not an all-land permanent. So you play a land, you get to essentially scry. And if you know what's coming up next, if you know that it's an enchantment exactly, then you play it. If you know that it's what's it called? No, like not a permanent. Like if it's like a sorcery.
Creature or a spell or something. Yeah.
Well, a creature's a permanent.
Like I could see Mirari's Wake being really good in this because it allows you to customize the top.
Oh, you mean Miri's?
Yeah, Miri's Guile. Sorry.
Yeah, Mirari's Wake, very different card,
I'm like
Brian.
very different,
Yeah.
very good, but not.
Could you imagine
Yeah,
if
no,
Mirari's
sorry.
Wake also let you have the
The
Sylvan
card would
Library
be
effect?
$200.
Ooh, I'd use it so much.
I have so many of them. I'd be super happy.
Oh my god.
Miri's Guile is
yeah,
solid,
Miri's
but
Guile,
it's you never
so
see it
good.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We should get over Miri's Guile. Very quiet, lol. So anyways, Hope, theme of the deck, go.
So it's baby stacks. So it's just gentle stacks. I'm not like directly bothering people too much. I'm not directly interacting with people's creatures or permanents all that much and trying to slow them down or anything. I'm
Are you
mostly
running
just,
stasis?
No.
All right, so you're good.
So I'm fine.
Winter Orb.
No winter orb, no torpor orb, no stasis.
See?
Baby stacks.
Okay, I'm fine.
What more could you want?
Yeah, exactly. Stop complaining. But no, it's Daniel does not like this deck very much. Well, sorry, that's not true. Daniel
got
likes the deck.
wrecked
He
by
does
this
not
deck.
like playing against it.
No, I do.
Well,
I just got
remember
wrecked by it.
The one game, I think it was like when you first made this deck,
Yeah.
I think you stopped Daniel from winning with just a single card.
I did. It was very funny. Sometimes it's not about winning, Brian. It's about ruining the game for Daniel. And
Sometimes taking away
100% agree.
sometimes taking away someone else's win is just as important.
I wholeheartedly agree. So the theme of the deck, more than anything, it's almost like I'm building a castle, and I am a dragon that has taken over this castle and eaten everybody inside, and now nobody can get in. And I'm just getting stronger by the day, and nobody can get in my castle. And then one day I just open the doors, and everybody dies. Like, it's very, very conceptual, very high concept magic.
Next week's episode, therapy.
Next week's episode, Hope she had to go. She really had to go.
No, I actually really like that concept of, like you said, you're defending yourself until it's time to come and show everyone what's good.
Yeah, it's less of me, like I said, directly interacting with you and making things difficult in classic Stax fashion. It's more of like, you can try to attack me, but it's gonna cost you 14 mana to swing, and also I can prevent all the damage. So, like, is that worth it? And then if your thing taps, then you can't untap it, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like not worth it. Kinda, yeah.
So let's start with the easiest thing to start in the deck, the Planeswalker. Every Bant enchantment deck should run Estrid.
10 out of 10.
No exceptions. Estrid is the best Planeswalker for enchantments. Calyx is pretty good, but he's hit or miss kind of.
Also, arguably the best Planeswalker out of those 2018 decks.
Yeah, Estrid slaps.
Yeah, Estrid does slap.
I
never run her.
Oh, she's so good. She just
but you don't really play
Bant
very much, Brian.
No.
You play Selesnya.
I only got Tulane.
Yeah, it has that pesky blue in it for you.
Yeah.
How pesky.
I try not to play blue because you know that I instantly slot in Cyclonic Rift, so I'm trying to save you some pain, Daniel.
That's true. Estrid is one. I was going to say red, but no. 1 green, white, blue for a 3 loyalty starting Planeswalker. +2 untap each enchanted permanent you control, which is very good. -1 creates a mask enchantment with totem armor, and you can put it on any of your permanents. And totem armor, for anyone who's unaware, is if it would be destroyed, you destroy that instance of totem armor instead. So they stack. You can have 7 things on it, and you'd have to destroy it 7 times, like some weird Horcrux situation.
Very real.
Yeah. And then the -7 is put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard, return all non-aura enchantments to the battle from your graveyard to the battlefield, then do the same with auras. And the reason it's slotted that way is so that you can put the auras onto things. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's very neat, a burrito.
And Estrid can be your commander.
Yes, she's not.
Really quickly, sorry, before you go into it, I was going to say Estrid could pretty easily switch out with
obviously.
Amareth. Yeah. Right. Like you could have a similar deck style, but I think Amareth,
I say Amareth
would be the stronger one for this. Obviously, you built it to be that way.
I did, and there's also like some emphasis on commander damage because I don't know if you know this, but I like to sling. So I like one of my favorite things in Magic is combat
and dragons,
which is something that a lot of people don't like is combat. Because there's too much at stake in combat.
But combat, I think,
is a bully.
It's the best way to lose the game. Like a lot of people don't really like to see. All right, so I Staff of Domination. I'll untap Priest of Titania and Elvish Archdruid. Like people don't really like to see that kind of a win.
Yeah.
They like to be like, all right, I hit you with 25 damage of angels, and you're like, you've got me, good game.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt the same way. It's like if somebody mills you out, like that sucks. You know, if somebody hits you with 400 damage, like, all right.
Now, I will sneak attack in my Blightsteel Colossus, and Warstorm Surge will kill the table. Any responses?
Yeah, right. Like that's the kind of vibe. Whereas with combat, like more often than not, like you've kind of let it get away from you, like their board state. Like if there's nothing you can do about it, like creatures are creatures, man. Like if you can't block it and if you let them get to that point, like it's just as much on you as it is on them.
Run board wipes. Play Nevinyrral.
Yeah, don't.
Do it.
Don't.
I hate them.
So Hope, choose a category and start us off.
I'm going to start with the artifacts because they're not super exciting and they're going to be quick. So it's pretty much just mana ramp. With the except, there's no Soul Ring, there's no Arcane Signet because I pulled exactly what I wanted out of a pile of stuff from Commander Legends and there was no Signet in it. So
is this Darksteel Ingot the actual one you're using?
No,
not yet.
They're not released yet, but I would love to slot it in.
Okay, because I saw this, I was like, what is this?
Like, how? No, that secret lair, it's not.
Not shipped yet.
No. So I've got a Horn Agreed, which is whenever a player plays a land, that player draws a card. A little group hug. And the only other really notable enchantment, in my opinion, is the Norn's Annex. Artifact is the Norn's Annex. So it's 3 and 2 Phyrexian mana, like Phyrexian white mana, mind you. If anyone's not familiar, Phyrexian mana can be played with the color or with 2 life per. Creatures can attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 white Phyrexian mana for each of those creatures.
A really fun thing.
I've been looking for this.
A really fun thing to note with this is that if you have a way to go to people, they do have to pay the life. They will have to attack if they need to attack someone with it. It's not an option. It's pretty
That's
mean.
amazing. I want to get this card now.
Yeah.
I think I saw it on a couple like enchantment lists or like Staxy lists, but I keep forgetting to actually like write it down to pick it up.
Straight up, dude,
What's
Norn's
super-
Annex is so good.
Yeah.
What's
Phyrexian.
super nice too is it came in mystery booster, so you can get it in foil.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Me and Hope are just talking that mystery booster things just don't even count. There's so much of it.
Yeah. Like things that were reprinted in Mystery, I'm just like, yeah, it was. But like, man, like the sheer amount of cards that were printed in Mystery is ridiculous.
You're pretty light on the other ones. I'll get.
I want to do enchantments closer to last.
Yeah. So Zach, you want to quickly burn through her sorceries here?
Light them on
Sure.
fire, Zach.
Austere command for white sorcery. Choose to destroy artifacts or enchantments, or creature cards with CMC 3 or less, or creature cards with CMC 4 or greater. Collective Voyage. It's a join forces card for 1 green. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of mana. Each player searches his or her library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the total amount of mana paid this way.
We're
Puts them on
going
the
for a
battlefield
ride.
tapped. Then shuffles his or her library. Cultivate. We're just ramping.
Yeah.
And a card I'm super excited to see in this list is
It
Replenish. It's so good. I just wish it wasn't so expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a sorcery for 3 and white. Return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to play.
Love it.
Yeah, replenish rules.
I
So
really wanted
cool.
to say as well, Collective Voyage is a trap. Pretty much never pay
It
into
is.
it. I play Collective Voyage in a lot of decks, and a lot of people think that I'm just group hug ramping. You always are going to play it in decks that are going to be drawing you just a ton of cards or have mana sinks. Do not ever buy into it because they are going to outvalue it. They're not doing it for fun. They're doing it because they're going to be drawing a ton of cards or they can mana sink like Kenrith plays Collective Voyage and stuff. So sure, you have 6, but now Kenrith is sitting there spamming his ability.
Well, for
that
reference,
same-
also, same can be said for Attempt with Discovery. Just don't be
Yep.
tempted. Just
Always
don't.
be tempted.
Just don't. It's never worth it.
It's
Because
so-
if they're
Always
doing
fall
it,
into
it's
the
because
trap.
they're getting lands that matter.
It's such a
It's
tempting
if
offer.
all of you do it, if you're playing in a pod, you got 4 people, then they get 4 lands, and they're getting their Field of the Dead, their Vesuva, their Dark Depths.
Yeah, people are usually
Don't
not,
do it.
They're usually not just going to grab 4 forests.
Just don't do it. It's
Oh, you mean you can get any land and not just a basic?
would tempt it with Discovery. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Expedition map all over again.
My favorite is when everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well, we'll just go get strip mines," and I'm like, "Interesting. I will go get strip mines." I've had people like threaten that before, and then I also go get strip mine and wastelands and stuff like that, and I just blow their lands up.
What a mood and a half.
Test me.
That's something.
Do you want to also quickly just go through the instance fast there, Zach? There.
Sure. We have Blunt the Assault, 3 and a green for an instant. You gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn.
Love it.
Dissolve, counter target spell, scry 1, engulf the shores. I love this card. It's an instant. It's an instant for 3 and a blue. Return to their owner's hands all creatures with toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's a baby
Right.
Psygrift also.
Yes, I need to get it. I must get it now.
I feel like it's not a nearly as feel bad card.
No, it's not.
Right control is just like Blunt the Assault. And second Sunrise, 1 white for an instant. Each player returns to play all artifact, creature, enchantment, and land cards that were put into his or her graveyard from play this turn.
Second Sunrise has tilted me so many times. I finally get like a good, like, you finally blow something up like Austere Command. We get rid of all the enchantments and all the creatures, and we're like, all right, we're back to a good spot. And for 3 mana, they're like, psych without the rift.
Question. Let's say let's say you move to end step, right? And you're in the cleanup phase and you discard a bunch of cards. Can you second sunrise at the end of your turn?
It's only they're from play. So they have to have come from the battlefield.
Oh, okay.
I wish
just
you
read the
could just
card.
power discard.
Yeah, well, that's second sunrise again, just on theme. It's just kind of like a baby replenish, also.
Yeah.
So
At instant speed.
Those were like two of the cards. As soon as I saw them in the deck, I was really excited because I love them. I don't play them.
I love second
because I
sunrise.
don't have them, but they're very good.
I haven't seen, like, I played during the Mirrodin slot. Like, that was kind of like when I stopped playing again. Like, and I don't remember that card, but yeah, it's really good.
That is one of my white staples. I like to put it in as many decks as I can. I really, really like it in Orzhov sacrifice decks because I love to sack my whole field and bring it all back in one go.
Yep.
yeah, it's very cool of you.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's what I like to do. So yeah, Hope, start into your
All right,
mighty
so
creature list.
it is mighty because even though it's an enchantment deck, it still obviously is a creature deck because I just can't not. So
Baby stacks for a reason.
yeah, it's baby steps also. So the first creature on my list here is a Johnny's Chosen. So it's 2 white for a 3/3 cat soldier. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, create a 2/2 white cat creature token. If the enchantment is an aura, I may attach it to the token, which is kind of neat. It's mostly so I can get an army of cats. So boots
makes
and
sense.
cats. Yes. Secondly, I have Arbiter of the Ideal, which is Sphinx. It's 4 and blue for 4/5 with flying, and it has kind of a weird ability, which is inspired. Whenever Arbiter of the Ideal becomes untapped, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land, you may put it onto the battlefield with a manifestation counter on it. That permanent is an enchantment in addition to its other types.
Love it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's kind of super slaps.
Much like.
Brian starts to play blue.
What's this world coming
Well,
to?
it's not like a normal manifest where you like put it face down as a 2/2.
Well, it's not
right?
manifest, it's manifestation.
Yeah, I know. So like that's what I mean. A lot of those things. This basically is just like roulette of what's at the top of your deck.
Yeah.
I don't know if you run Soothsay in this deck. I personally would run
No,
Soothsaying in this
but
deck so I could like.
I actually
hardcore.
literally just picked one up. Like I literally picked one up yesterday.
Yeah, because I would love to just like restack the top of my deck with things like this. Because the ability to just dump permanents into play for free is so
For
fun.
reference to saying, you can pay X and then reorganize the top X cards of your library.
At any time, it's an
Oh, I
enchantment.
like that.
Yeah,
And it's a 1 blue enchantment.
Yeah.
and it has a 5 mana shuffle your deck.
Yes, it does.
Yep. So
Love
good.
it.
Wow. Again, I've never heard of that card.
Oh, I love
That
Soothsaying.
sounds great.
Well, it's from my favorite set. It was also reprinted in Mystery Boosters.
Any deck that needs top deck manipulation, like Yanette really, really likes that card.
And even the original, and it's like super affordable. Like the original printing of Soothsaying is like $5, and the Mystery Booster is like $2.
Why don't you have a scroll rack in here?
Free. What?
Why don't you have a scroll rack in here? I just thought about that.
Didn't even think about it. Because you know why? It's because I don't usually have scroll racks.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Commander Legends has changed things,
Yeah.
but I've never just had scroll racks about, you know?
Maybe we should
should,
put a
yeah.
scroll rack in.
That's
But you know what I mean?
The next
That's how
one.
I felt about rings and staffs. Like
Yeah.
they go in so many of my decks.
I
Just
keep
like, oh,
forgetting Rings of Bright Hearth was in Commander Legends.
Yeah,
until
isn't that
you just said it.
ridiculous? Isn't that ridiculous?
We need more snow-covered lands now.
That's
Call time.
The
Yeah.
black metal set.
It is black metal. Like we'll get back to my deck in 1 second, but if you've seen the leaks for Call Time, literally the packs look like a gentle version of like a death metal band.
I'm so excited.
It's a little bit too legible for me, but it's pretty
Right.
sick.
so excited.
All right.
Clever Impersonator, I love as a creature. 2 blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. It can enter as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield, which is just an underplayed ability.
Yeah, well, Clever Impersonator. I remember the first time I ever saw Clever Impersonator, I just for some reason assumed because it's a creature that I could only make creatures. That's just not true.
Yeah.
Make any permanent is ridiculous. Any permanent on from anywhere. It's so good.
Field of the Dead.
And the next card is actually one that I really want to build also. I'm into it. So it's Eutropia, the twice favored 1 in Simic for a 2/2 legendary human wizard with Constellation. So whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That creature gains flying till the end of turn. So again, it just gives me more smashy ability, which obviously I love.
I've been kind of looking at this as a commander as well, because I do have like a really nice foil version of it. And
it does look good in foil.
Well, especially if you get that sweet extended art. Oh, Bessie.
Yeah. Like it would just that seems like a really fun commander to play.
Yeah.
The next is one of my favorite enchantment-based cards, Hannah Ship's Navigator. 1 and Azorius, white blue, and for the same cost and a tap, return target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. It's very nice to be able to recur them that way. I just love everything about the card, love the lore, love it all.
Yeah. Well, and it is nice to have like that targeted returning of different like enchantments and whatnot. Even for something like, let's say that Norn's Annex, which is like definitely does work in my deck. Like if somebody gets rid of it, I can just be like, no, we're gonna bring it right on back there, bucko.
Having to pay life is brutal to attack.
Oh yeah, it's super nasty. It's
especially when you know that like you have, like we talked about earlier, the blunt the assault kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like whatever, I'm gonna win the game. I have my Crater Hoof out. I'll pay the 30 life. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Yeah.
Oh. Would feel bad.
Like that. I like with Norn's Annex. I always play like Ghost of Prison and Sphere of Safety. So I'm like, okay, like if you want to attack me, you have to pay 17 mana.
You'll be
like, can you imagine? You need to pay
surprised.
17 mana and 2 life.
Yeah, it's 17 mana per creature, 2 life.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Oh, you're gonna be thrilled, Brian.
I'm looking forward to it.
So the next one is mostly again because I have a creature problem. So it's Heliod, God of the Sun, OG Heliod, 3 and white for 5/6 legendary enchantment creature god. And again, enchantment, it's still kind of on theme. So his devotion has to be 5 for him to be a creature. But the big reason that I have this is for the other creatures you control have vigilance.
Oh, I actually never really read his ability fully before.
Yeah. It really lends to all that glitters, which is so for 2 and 2 white, put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. So not only is he making bodies, he's also making more enchantments.
Well, that's also phenomenal as a mana sync with Amareth's ability, because you're hitting creature and enchantment there, so you do have a chance of end step dumping in a pretty decent permanent. That's awesome. Like filling your hand back up.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
I know, it's pretty. It slaps.
I never knew that they were enchantment creatures. I just thought they were 2/1 white clerics. I've always thought they were clerics.
I mean,
I didn't even realize they were clerics.
If you guys ever read your cards,
yeah, reading's hard, Hope.
Man, reading.
Theirs is weird. They just slapped enchantment
on everything.
So much random stuff. Like
this is a land enchantment.
They're just like, hey,
enchantment land,
whatever.
At some point, I feel like we'll see enchantment lands because we have artifact lands.
Yeah, I would.
That'd be awesome.
Wizards, get on it. I need it now.
Yeah.
Mark.
Mesa Enchantress is 1 white. Whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card. Very interesting. Love it.
So, that's just an auto include.
Well, yeah, it was a joke when I was saying very interesting. It's the most basic thing that you put into, like, not all of them are going to run all of the draw every time. Like the Veduvian, is that what it is? Veduvian Enchantress?
Velduvian?
Oh yeah, that's one of them. One of the green ones.
Those ones aren't as much, but like Mesa Enchantress, like $1.50 card. Like you play it if you're playing enchantments.
Yeah.
But I think that green one is its power and toughness is equal to the amount of enchantments that you have in play. But this one and the other, what is it? I can't remember, but I love that card draw. That sweet card draw.
Sweet
card draw is king. The next card is actually one of my favorite cards.
Me
because
too.
It gets out of hand,
and nobody is ever concerned about it.
Dean fondly called it Babar.
but But it's a rhino.
Yeah, well, he still calls it Babar.
Does he know that Babar was an elephant?
I don't know. I haven't seen Babar in a long time.
What a strange boy.
You can't remember your childhood?
Regardless, yeah, that was a long time ago.
This card has done work. I remember last time I played this deck back in the before times, I had about, I think, 40 something 4/4 rhinos. So it's Mirror Sigil Sergeant. So Mirror Sigil Sergeant is 5 and a white, which seems very expensive, but he's got trample and he's a 4/4. Past that, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a blue permanent, you may put a token into play that is a copy of Mirror Sigil Sergeant, which means on the first time you put in 1, second time you put in 2, third time you put in 4.
Then
wow.
8, then
how have I not seen this?
He goes hard.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's
like,
Rhino Scoot Swarm.
Doubling.
Well, you don't even need doubling. It's because
it's exponential.
It's not even that. You're sitting there playing annoying Stax things, and then
nobody can interact with it. And then when it's time,
it's very, very easy to like not pay attention to this. And I see many times when this is out, people saying, "When did you get 32 rhinos?"
That was the exact same thing. That was exactly what happened with last time I played. So
how do you have 64 of those?
Yeah. So every single upkeep, I was like, okay, I'm going to create my rhino. I'm going to create 2 rhinos. I always announce because I don't,
rhinos.
Well, because I don't want to like get to a point where like I'm in like a position where I can win the game, and it's because somebody didn't realize what I had.
I also like to warn people.
Yeah, I like to fully announcing, so if somebody wants to respond, then they have every opportunity to do so. Like, I don't want to win because you didn't notice a card or didn't fully understand it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like I'm full of myself, but it's not. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
it does feel bad if you're like, when did that get out?
Yeah, and that's like, I guess I lose. Like, it sucks.
Get off your phones.
Yeah, so listen to our episode on etiquette.
Daniel.
I announce things really aggressively, and literally at the end of the game, my buddy went to attack me and try to kill me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll block with rhinos," and he's like, "When did you get rhinos?" And I'm like 17 turns ago, my dude. Like,
they've been here for so long.
They keep coming. Like, I'm like, the fact that you're trying, like,
the fact that they're all 4/4 tramplers too is a big deal.
Gross.
Now that's a stampede right there.
Yeah. Am I right, buddy?
It's pretty rough. Noble Hierarch, I love the card. I love that the value of it has come down so much in recent years. For so long, it was like $100 card.
Yeah. So Noble Hierarch, it's a 1-drop. It taps for Bant, but it also has Exalted, which is kind of nice because often in this deck I'm swinging with nothing but Amareth. Yeah. So it's just a little bonus. The Oracle will die extra land every turn. You play the top card revealed. You can play
very important in the deck.
Library. Yeah, it's the first little bit of top deck manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I'm a big fan of is Progenitor Mimic.
Take a break for a second. It's not auctioneer creatures. Progenitor Mimic is the next one.
Do you have $5? You got an Oracle Baldia?
It's 4 Simic, 0/0 shapeshifter again. You can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep. If that creature isn't a token, create a token that's a copy of this creature.
Oh, we going off, boys.
Love it.
Yeah, this one's good.
Yeah, it's
cool.
The
next card is Rush Me, Eternity's Crafter, 2 green and a blue for legendary creature, Elf Druid, 2/3. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal a top card of your library. If it's not a land card with CMC less than the spell, you may cast it without playing its mana cost. If you don't, you can put that card into your hand.
Yeah. A lot of refilling from the top of your deck. Like, obviously, you refill your hand usually from the top of your deck, but a lot of things that aren't specifically draw. So, like, we've seen a lot of cards recently, like Hull Breacher. Some animal in our playgroup built Leovold and stuff, right? Like, you see a lot of these things that, like, people don't get to, like, that punish you for draw. New Narset, any of those things. And the refilling your hand specifically without a draw. Some animals playing Nekusar, you know?
Well, or even just like how popular Marlin got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you can't draw, or an Omen Machine, like any of those things. Any of the things that are preventing you from drawing, or like a Notion Thief, an Alms Collector, they're all. I'm not going to go through what they all do. They all stop you from drawing.
This is nice too because you're going to get to play something for free because we're going to see what the top of our
I love free
library
spells.
is. You know, so like if you know what you have on the top of your library, you can play a spell with, you know, lesser CM or with more CMC than that card to be able to actually get that card for free.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I like Rush Me.
Well, and that's the same sort of vibe like with the what's it called, Kodama.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you're not thinking about what you're like. It's the same sort of like.
You're getting the extra value.
Yeah,
off,
you're trying to figure out like I'm not playing what I want to play necessarily. I'm playing what I want to play so that I can play something else also.
3D chess with
thinking, like-
yourself while everyone else is playing just normal person Magic.
That's exactly what it is. So
Hopes
It's a
8
good way of
stacks
looking
deep.
at it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sakura Tribe Elder. I love it.
a classic boy, and also the goat. I love him.
He is a good.
He's a very good snake. Next we have Selesnya Selvala. Obviously,
I love it.
The best one.
It's one of
The
my
best.
favorite cards in all of Magic. Like
same.
it's one of my also silliest decks. Like I love putting Selvala down and people not knowing what I'm playing and then having just too much mana. I love it.
You guys have made me hate this card because there's nothing good you're doing with it. It's always bad for everyone.
When Hope was talking about the game that she ruined for me, I was playing Selvala and I got a turn 3 10 deep Gen Wave.
Oh, it was
That
gross.
that hit like Admonition Angel, 4 lands, Safara, Avacyn.
Avacyn.
Like I hit a lot of gas, and then Hope just wrecked the game.
I didn't wreck
Yeah,
the
all
game.
of those creatures coming into play tapped.
They all came into play tapped, then they all didn't untap, and it was hurtful to
Well,
my soul.
Get better. So next we got Silent Arbiter. So it's 4 colorless for an artifact creature, 1/5. No more than 1 creature can attack each combat. No more than 1 creature can block each combat, which again, super sweet, especially when I'm just like decking out my my big boy Amareth,
Trying to make it huge.
my good boy.
Huge.
Next, we have Starfield Mystic, which is 1 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. We
So
stand.
good. Enchantments needed a lord.
Right? And then whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Starfield Mystic, which I'm not like super concerned about. Like, I'm not really worried about the counters on him or anything, but it is a nice little bonus if somebody gets rid of something.
The next card is the card that wrecked the game for me. It's Stoic Angel. It's 1 and Bant, and it is rough. It is a 3/4 flying vigilance angel. Players can't untap more than 1 creature during their untap step.
I only want to untap 1 anyways.
It
It's
hurts.
so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a really, really good control card. Like, it's a good body. The fact that it can still swing without interruption because it has vigilance on itself is good. And yeah, like if you're up against elves, just got like a huge amount of love with all the new stuff, right?
Yeah,
You're
because
seeing-
they needed it.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
but you're seeing a lot of like cards that function with those activated abilities, and just dropping this down just really stops that all. It becomes something that they have to actually deal with
Yeah.
while you have a few turns.
I'm really surprised at how cheap this card is.
Well,
Like-
so
like-
CMC wise, and the price of it.
the
It doesn't
CMC
make sense.
is kind of surprising to me. I feel like it should be 5 to have a 4/4 with
3/4.
sorry, a 3/4
still.
with those abilities. I'm surprised it's not 5 mana. But the price, I think it's strictly because it's so specific. Like it's 3 color. It's, I don't know.
I think what helped that too is the fact that it was reprinted, because this was
Yeah.
another card that was from the Alara block, and a
Yeah.
lot of those Alara block specific cards, if they've not been reprinted, are typically pretty expensive because they're just like very unique. They're in the shards, and that's one of the more popular 3 colors that we're ever going to play.
Yeah, and it's not like you can just have things that are like Bant or like Jund because it's specific to Alara, and like we have no good reason to go back to Alara right now.
Yet,
Well, we just don't.
it's true. Lore wise, it doesn't add
It
up.
doesn't make any sense.
No matter how much we want it.
But this one was in Modern Masters, so
The next one is one of my favorite cards for just recurring stuff. It's Sun Titan, 4 white.
So good.
Sun Titan is a real heckin' white staple.
I love Sun Titan. I love personally being able to just hit a Terramorphic Expanse repeatedly. I'm a simple man. That's
Well,
all I
like
need.
at the worst, right? Like at the worst, you're hitting a terramorphic expanse repeatedly. Like that rules.
Well, you have a lot of permanents that this can bring back, especially as we go through the enchantments. There's a lot of things that Sun Titan can save from the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Tuvasa the Sunlit is just Bant for a 1/1 Merfolk Shaman. 1/1 for each enchantment you control, which should never be underestimated. And whenever you cast your first enchantment spell each turn, draw a card.
Yeah, so this gives me that little bit of draw, and in addition to that, like again with those like clerics that are enchantments, and with making my things in my artifacts enchantments, and making everything like Tuvasa gets gnarly. Tuvasa is
So-
also a great potential commander for this kind of deck.
That's what I was going to say. I know you probably didn't intend it that way because everything is just working very well. It's very synergetic, but I love when people build decks that have multiple variations that could be commanders, because really,
Hopes,
I have
would
three.
work fine.
Hopes designing precons.
I am designing precons. Well, I have three potential. Well, I mean, in all fairness, Tuvasa and Estrad are both in the same precon.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
is nothing like the Tuvasa.
No,
deck.
it's not.
This
but
isn't
like,
your grandpa's Tuvasa deck.
But like you could easily swap out Amareth for Estrad. You could easily swap out Amareth for Tuvasa and have a gay old time,
a very
I've been-
different game.
I've been finding myself building commander decks that way a lot more recently, where I've been building decks unintentionally with multiple variations for commanders that still work in the same way. I love it. I love because it, potentially makes the game different.
I
Yeah.
personally never build that way. I'm like, simple brain, we're doing this. This is what we're doing.
I didn't realize that I build like that, but I definitely do, and I've noticed it more and more. Like if, like for like I mean, I build decks for fun, but I also have to build decks for work, and
You have to.
poor
Or you-
me. But but I do have to build decks at work, and I notice that I do stuff like that because I think the reason that my deck building style has changed so much in that is because I'm thinking about like how would somebody else maybe like to play this, because if I think that this is great at the helm, fine, but what if we had other options?
Yeah, this isn't the creature that they specifically like. Well, especially with work, people just coming in. I don't build decks like this, but I do know a lot of people do. They say, I've got half the deck. I need 15 more cards for it. Can you build me this? Or, hey, I want a Narset. Build me a shell for Narset.
Yeah.
Right? So, like,
Ugh.
you get a...
Don't ever do that.
I
Don't
did.
do that for anyone.
I did.
You get a...
Felt good.
Well, you get to see a bunch of styles that you might not play when you're helping.
Yeah.
And then even just pulling
That's
cards,
true.
like the amount of experience you would probably get being able to just like look at the list, see like, oh, like this is a really cool thing. I didn't know that this works with that. I think that it's definitely changed your building style to work at a game
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
This deck is only half creatures.
What?
I said the deck's only half creature, so it's definitely changed for
I
you.
know. I'm getting better. What were you saying, Brian?
Oh, I always go into the store and I'll take a look at those pre-con decks first, because like just being able to like buy one of those, and then because there's cards that are always put in that I don't even know. I haven't seen. There's way too many cards. So like I always like being pleasantly surprised and seeing a card that works great in a deck that I didn't build.
Mhm.
Because then I can go, oh,
It's
and then
so
just start
fun to
building
find
myself.
new cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finding new cards rules. I was literally like, that's been also like one of the greatest things about like my job. If I can just talk about how much I love my job for a sec, it rules. But like building binders for old sets. You know how many cool cards are in the Judgment block? So many. It rules.
Tons.
Oh my god.
Pull out that Urza Saga for me.
Yo.
I'm in that binder a lot.
Urza Saga was such a good
The
set.
Urza block was so good. Let's just take a second.
Anyways, let's finish the creature list. Yes.
Wow. The creature list is done, doggy.
It's not. We
Oh,
didn't
we
talk
got a
Windborn
Windborn
Muse.
Muse.
Yeah, Windborn
Yeah.
Muse, 3 and a white, flying, 2/3 spirit. Creatures can attack unless their controller pays 2 for each creature that's attacking you.
Pretty sure that card put in work in that game too.
It
card
often does.
Puts in work in every game. Oh, we didn't mention in your artifacts, I'm just seeing, though, that you have a Thought Vessel as well. So you do have a way to keep your hand.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry. Yes. I just kind of like, what's it called?
Chalked it up to ramp.
Yes. That's the word I was looking for. Chalked.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, now start with your enchantment list.
Finally onto the enchantments. Let's go into that bread and butter, baby. Hell yeah, buddy. So we got one of maybe my favorite card from Throne of Eldraine. So it's All That Glitters. 1 and a white for an enchantment or a enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets 1/1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control.
The art's great. The
Stop.
ability's great. The cost is great.
Are you
Yep.
kidding me?
It
I
is.
can't believe this is an uncommon.
Thank you. This is a rare, doggy. This is a rare if I ever saw one.
It is a very good card. It's a threat right off the bat.
If it was 2 more mana, it would be uncommon, but it's not.
It's pretty cheap for how much you
It's
can get.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just makes your creature so big, so quick.
Its ability to hit mono white as well makes it go in so many different kind of decks. It's like they could have put it into like at least Azorius and kind of tried to shove it into one spot.
Or Celestia.
Or even Boros because like the artifacts and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
Because like
they're,
equipment.
they're just like everything that has white deserves this effect.
Stop telling us white
literally-
sucks.
I literally just put this card in a deck last night.
It's so good.
It's so good. Literally, Daniel and I took all of our boxes of Throne of Eldraine and just rifled out all that glitters is. Like
A solid card.
so good. So the next is maybe my favorite card in the deck.
Yeah, I think you said it's put in the most work for
It
you.
has put in the most work without question in every single game I've played. And that is Authority of the Consoles. It is 1 white. It is my turn 1 play. It just
Yep.
mulligan till you get the Authority of the Consoles. But no, it's an enchantment for 1 white. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Hilarious. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. Extra hilarious.
No downsides.
Especially if somebody's playing a token deck. Top
Solid
tier
card, yeah.
Top tier hilarity.
Well, or if they're doing like a recursion where they're killing a creature.
Or
and-
they're trying to gen wave on turn 3.
Yeah. No, but like I'm just saying if they're doing like a blood artist loop or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just keep I'm
you
like
just gain the
okay.
life, you just stay. All
I'm
right.
just like nothing will happen to me, thank you.
Bounty of the Lux is the next card. I hate keeping track of what it does.
It's like not that hard.
I'm, again, a simple boy, Hope. It's 2 green, blue. For an enchantment at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all flood counters from Bounty of Luxa. If no flood counters are removed this way, put a flood counter on it and draw a card. Otherwise, add a colorless, specifically a colorless, and then 1 green, 1 blue.
Yeah, so if it has
Interesting.
a counter, what's it called? If it has a counter on it, you take the counter off and you get some mana. If it doesn't have a counter on it, you put a counter on it and you draw a card.
Yeah, it's
It's just hard. It just reads weird.
Yeah,
So.
it's very, yeah,
It's
odd.
super
It's
wordy.
worded very oddly. Yeah.
It's just very wordy. They could have been like, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if Bounty of Luxa has a counter on it, remove the counter and add this mana. If it doesn't have a counter on it, add a counter and draw a card. But instead, they're just like, let's make it super weird. And I'm like,
But you could.
let's
you
make it
can-
frustrating to read.
All right. I want to read this next card.
What,
Okay.
What, Big Cat?
Colossification. 5 green for an enchantment or enchant creature. When Colossification enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +20/+20. This is the
real subtle.
This is the Hopest of Hope cards. You have to alter it where it's just your face on the cat's body.
That would be hilarious.
But
I'll do it for you. That'll
not-
be the thumbnail for the episode.
please do. But like,
That would
not,
make me very happy.
not
Oh, you have
only-
to put Hope's face on Amareth.
Not only do I love kitties, but also I love giving my creatures 20/20. I love a 1-hit vigilance flipping dragon commander kill. Ugh.
Were you trying to pick your words there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say bad words. So that's how excited I am. But you know what's even more of a hope thing to do?
The next
Copy it.
card.
Nah. So the next card is Copy Enchantment. So it's 2 and a blue. Copy Enchantment comes into play. You may choose an enchantment in play. If you do, Copy Enchantment comes into play as a copy of that enchantment. Also, super wordy.
I also just have to say the most frustrated I've ever been in any game in my entire life was against one of my friends, Xavier. And he did 2 things that hurt me deeply in this game. Number 1 is he played Emrakul
Top tier.
and took my turn.
Did he hard cast Emrakul?
Yes.
Hell
Or no, he used Yannette to cast it for free.
Nice.
So he used my unsummon to put my Animar back in my hand. Then he played my copy enchantment as nothing. He just put it down as a copy enchantment.
Because you may.
And it made me so angry that I don't have it in that deck anymore. Then he moved to end step and he discarded Animar.
The fact that it's a you may is top tier funny.
Even worse than that, it's my Animar deck is Eldrazi. So not only did he discard that, he discarded Ulamog and shuffled them both back into my deck.
He is an icon.
Amazing.
He's an absolute icon. That boy is a top tier mad lad. We love him.
I wish I could say in good faith that I had great sportsmanship about that. I was pretty angry.
He didn't.
I was pretty angry.
I remember that.
He got targeted for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I don't think he played with us for a while after that.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Xavier, I love your face.
The next is Deafening Silence. 1 white. Each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn.
Get zucked. Declaration of Not, which is blue. As it comes into play, name a card and then for 1 blue, counter target spell with that name, which is really funny to do on somebody's commander if it matters to their deck. It's really funny.
Wow, that's just rude.
Well, it's just funny.
Just do that with Tulane.
It's so funny. Like, that is top tier counterspell garbage. Like, if their commander really matters.
Man, I sure can't wait to play my Relentless Rats deck.
Oh man, it would be a shame if you were playing a Persistent Practitioner's deck.
I love that deck.
I know you do.
Diplomatic Immunity is 1 and a blue. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities, and it can't be the target of spells or abilities.
It has hexproof. You have hexproof?
Shroud, yeah.
Shroud. Double Shroud.
It's really funny to put on other people's Voltron commanders.
Yes.
Oh, I love that idea. That's hilarious.
Oh, it's so brutal. Like you get somebody's like trying to play a Tuvasa or like a Wylith. I'm playing Roadrak Arden. Yeah, exactly. Zach's Glen deck he just made. Turn 2 Diplomatic Immunity.
I would be furious. I would say F you guys and I'm leaving.
We just need a mass enchantment destruction. Duh. Everybody runs that. So.
Oh, I love that card. It's good. It's very good protection, but it's also very good to salt something that's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious.
And I can see the baby stacks coming. The more of the baby stacks coming into play here with dueling grounds.
Just little babies. Mm-hmm.
So 1 and Selesnya. It's an enchantment, and no more than 1 creature may attack each turn, and no more than 1 creature may block each turn.
Yeah. What's
Pretty
the problem?
simple.
Slow things down.
I really want to read this next card because I have a slight little suggestion about it, if that's okay.
No. I can't handle any criticism, and don't ever.
So, it's Enchanted Evening with the amazing Seb McKinnon artwork from the cool Secret Lair. It's 3 hybrid white, blue. All permanents are enchantments in addition to their other types. Mm-hmm. This card is amazing. One of my favorite cards to run next to it is Aura Thief. So if you don't know,
That's funny, yeah.
Aura Thief is 3 and a blue for rare. It's an illusion 2/2. Flying. When Aura Thief is put into a graveyard from play, you gain control of all enchantments.
That's funny.
I had a Bant enchantment deck that I recently took apart because with COVID, it's just been super hard to play it. But it was Rubinia's Soul Singer.
Oh my god, yes.
Literally all I would do was steal people's stuff, copy people's stuff, sacrifice it, and steal more of their stuff with it. And that was one of my win conditions was Enchanted Evening and Aura Thief.
Zach, I could kiss you on the mouth. That's amazing.
It's awkward because I didn't it's your deck list and it's so cool. But as soon as I saw that, I scanned through the creatures I don't see Aura Thief. I don't know because it's one of those cards. It's really weird.
I didn't know anything about that.
Me either. Well, and the other thing too is this deck was built strictly at home.
For anyone who was watching the video, what I picked my phone up to do was screenshot that card so I can buy it today.
Yeah. Well, so how this deck was built was I literally was I need to build Amareth right now. And so I literally just went through piles of cards and binders and stuff. And I was just
and my deck.
Yeah, and one of Daniel's decks. So with the exception of the Enchanted Evening, which I actually went out and bought. But that is dope, and I will definitely be buying one today and adding it to this deck.
It goes back to our conversation earlier about how super good the Urza saga or Urza block was.
Is it Urza's? Yeah, I love it.
It's gross.
It's another Urza's. It's Urza's Destiny, and it just as soon as I saw it, I was like, I played it because I'm a degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just had to mention it, like not to tilt under anything.
I appreciate it. It's happening, Zach.
The next card is if you feel like you can't get away from playing red extra combats, but you want to play Bant.
Me.
I mean,
me.
Sure, you have a colossification on your creature. It's now
me.
a 26/26. It can only kill one of us.
Me.
Finest Hour. It's 2 Bant, green, white, blue, exalted. And whenever a creature you control attacks alone, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap it. After it, there's an additional combat phase.
It's so dumb.
Bant double combats.
Yeah.
Don't ever try to tell me how to live my life. Huh?
That is
down.
Rafik, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's the card that needs to be in every Rafik deck. You can't build... When you buy a Rafik, they just give you this card as well. They come together.
That is true.
It's the backside.
Yeah. That's something that's actually like a well-known fact in all the LGS. Yeah. Moto Rafik. Exactly.
Yeah. If you go to it and stuff, it's like the secret... It's like the secret menus at the fast food restaurants. I want the Rafik and also Finest Hour.
I want the spicy Rafik.
Yeah.
I want the Rafik extra crispy.
Extra crispy Rafik.
Spicy Rafik is from the Vaults Rafik. Just so we're clear on that one.
Extra crispy Rafik. The next is Ghostly Prison, 2 and a white. Creatures can't attack you unless they pay 2.
For each attacking creature.
Yes, not just 2.
Oh, this is also Rafik on the art.
I don't think it is.
It's not. I just wanted to
Okay,
say.
yeah.
I was like, what?
I was like, maybe it is. Gift of Immortality.
You know what? I don't know. I'm not here to argue with the boy. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Gift
That is so confident.
of Immortality is a problem card.
Yeah.
2 and a white. So again, Sun Titan can bring it back. Enchant creature. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Return it to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So you have to remove the creature twice in one turn, or else.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
It rules.
Grasp of Fate. There's no way that it's only $5 right now.
American.
Okay.
You see the little symbol in the left-hand corner though?
Oh, Mystery Booster. Maybe it did get reprinted.
Yeah, so that was another. Once again, we can't talk about this enough. Commander Legends, Double Masters, and Mystery Boosters has done wonders for our community.
Well,
They
even like we were
changed the game.
talking about with Scroll Rack and stuff. You're not even thinking about building Scroll Rack, but we have a stack of Scroll Racks from opening Commander Legends now. Like it's just cards that most people don't have sitting around to think about, right? All of them were pricey, so they were in like more dedicated decks. Now they're just in piles.
Or they just weren't index.
Yeah.
So, like now they're just in our rares.
Grasp of Fate is a rough card. It is 1 double white. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until it leaves the battlefield.
So good.
It's very good.
So good.
It hurts me deeply.
Yeah, it was really fun. The next card is one of my absolute favorite enchantments in the game. And it's 2 and a blue for Imprisoned in the Moon. And it's enchant land, creature, or planeswalker. And the enchanted permanent loses all of its other card types and abilities, and it gains tap to add a colorless. You're welcome.
I like that it's enchant creature land or
planeswalker.
It's so frustrating to get it turned into because again, it's not like something you can replacement effect out of. It's like you've got to deal with this, but I Hope does this on like my Bazaar of Baghdad and stuff, like in Muldrotha, like in important stuff. She hits Field of the Dead with it. She's just a bully.
That's smart moves.
Thanks.
That's a smart lady there.
What is really
She's
funny?
pretty cool.
What's really funny as well is also turning it into like someone's Voltron commander that's full of enchantments, and then you just turn it into a land.
Yeah.
I want to read this next card because it was also in my Rabinia deck.
Okay.
It's a white
it rules.
minefield. Yeah, 2 white enchantment. Whenever 1 or more creatures attack, light minefield deals damage to each of those creatures equal to the number of attacking creatures.
Just try to go wide.
Card.
Yeah,
Come at me,
this
Krenko.
completely Yeah,
I need
completely
this
puts token decks
so
in
bad.
check,
Yeah.
and it's super
Never
cheap.
seen this card.
Straight up, the last time that I played this deck, like somebody was trying to come at me with a bunch of Luminarch Ascension Angels, and I'm like, I mean, you can try. You can
You don't-
absolutely.
you
I was
don't
just
want
like,
this.
well, I'm just like, they're like, well, I gotta get rid of the light minefield. And I'm just like, yeah, but if you get rid of the light minefield, then I'm coming at you with rhinos.
That's the fun thing about this deck. Is it like it does kind of keep you in check too? But if they get rid of it, like you said, exactly,
It's worse for them to
Face
get rid
the
of
Rhino
these
Storm.
things. Yeah, I'm like, either you're gonna be absolutely annihilated by rhinos, or you can let me kill you with Amareth, and it's up to you.
It's fun seeing you start to just a little stacks, just a light salt,
Just a light sprinkling.
not enough that it's bad for your heart, but just
And not enough that it's bad for my friendships. Yeah. But just enough.
Light seasoning.
I love Mirror
next
Maid.
card.
Mirror Maid
Yeah.
is I always need more Mirror Maids. They're so good.
Card slaps.
Oh, let's make a copy of that light mine.
Yeah. One double blue, you can have it enter as a copy of any artifact or enchantment. It's just a better copy enchantment, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's copy artifact or enchantment.
Next card is
Yeah,
the
a budget
only,
card, definitely.
it's the only. I said I didn't go to the store. I didn't spend any money on this deck except for the $6 on the Enchanted Evening.
True.
So, it's a moat. It's not necessary. So
You could replace it with Mages of the Moat.
you could
This is ridiculous.
you could take it out and instead put in the whatever card that Zach said.
Cyclonic Rift.
No, the
I
Aura
know.
whatever.
Yes,
Thief.
Aura Thief.
Yes, Aura Thief. So it's a moat. So it's 2 white non-flying creatures can't attack. Which again,
This is foolish. That
baby
price
stacks.
of this card is ridiculous.
because it's legends, my dude. That's the only
welcome
reason.
to the reserve list, buddy.
It's just because it's yeah.
But
None of it makes sense.
Like we said, though, you can easily change this out for Magus of the Moat that does the exact same thing, only it's a creature.
Well, you don't need this
and
card.
No,
You don't.
I
You
literally
can
put the
also-
card in the deck because I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm
If
having
you still
flying.
want to, if you still want to stay on theme and have a card that has the same effect, you could run Archetype of Imagination. I believe
Yep.
it is. It's CMC wise, it's a little bit more expensive, but it is a
7.
creature. It is an enchantment, and it's like all creatures your opponents control lose flying. It can't gain flying. All
Yeah.
creatures you control gain flying.
Yeah, so same kind of vibe. So
We have Monastery Siege. I love the Cons or Dragon's Choice
me
cards.
too.
2 and a blue for an enchantment. Obviously, we're in enchantments. Cons, at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, then discard a card. I never choose that one. I always choose dragons with this one.
Yeah.
Spells your opponents cast that target you or a permanent you control are 2 more
Yeah.
to cast.
Yeah, that's what you're choosing in this deck is the dragons.
Yeah, you just want people to not touch all up on your enchantments.
Also, it's dragons, buddy.
Yeah, you are the dragons, the only obvious
The
choice.
dragon lady. The next
really
one.
like-
Sorry.
I really like this card. I wish we had more cards like this.
Oh, they're so dope. I like there's 'cause
Which
there's-
one, Cons or Dragons, or the
There's,
next
'cause
one?
there's just 5, right?
Myth realized.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Myth Realized is really cool. So it's 1 white for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on it. And you can pay 2 and a white to put another lore counter on it. And for 1 white, until the end of turn, Myth Realized becomes a monk avatar creature in addition to its other types and gains this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lore counters on it.
it's solid.
Super neat.
It can grow itself pretty good from turn 1 onwards.
Yep.
It can be a problem late game. It can be a really good mana sink for if you just
It's an
don't have
awesome
anything.
mana
Yeah.
sink. Yeah.
And it can be problematic enough to kill someone.
Yeah.
What I really like is it's super innocuous, right? Like, do you really want to waste removal on a Myth Realize when when they're already playing an enchantment deck?
Like,
you know,
probably
with playing
not.
exactly with playing as we have and being kind of familiar with enchantment decks, especially being in Bant, you're already thinking, oh, do they have a Smothering Tide? Do they have a Ghostly Prison? Do they have stuff like that a Rhystic Study stuff we really want to save the removal for? So Myth Realize is just one of those cards that can, just stay
Fly
under the radar, and
yeah.
eventually
Yep.
kill someone.
Well, and the
I
other
love
thing
stuff
too
like
is that like people, there just isn't as much, and people don't run as much enchantment removal.
People don't run nearly enough removal of any
So-
kind, but yeah.
No, so, but enchantment specifically. So, burning removal on a card like that is just not worth it. So
Well, until it's too late. Almost.
until it's too late and you're dead.
Yeah.
So I have to say, I do enjoy Hope that,
Yeah.
that you're playing some group hug here.
Just a little. Just
Yeah.
a little.
With Oath of Lieges.
I just want to gently hold
Amazing.
you.
I love Oath of Lieges. Every time I play Oath of Lieges, I hear the "What does that do?" It's 1 and a white. During each player's upkeep, if that player controls fewer land than target opponent, that player can search for a basic land, put it into play, not tapped, and then shuffle. I love
Land
it.
tax for everyone.
It gets the game going so well. It's very good for you. And again, in decks like this, where you know that you're going to be able to dump so many things out and refill your hand so quickly,
Yeah.
it's much more problematic to let Hope have more lands.
Yes.
Alternate win con is the next one, Hope.
Oh, love it. Love it so much. It's Opalescence for 2 and 2 white for an enchantment, obviously. Each other global enchantment is a creature with power and toughness, each equal to its CMC. It's still an enchantment. All of your enchantments are creatures, and all of your things are enchantments.
This card worried
Die.
me when I was running it in my enchantment deck. So I'm just like, then it opens up my enchantments to a lot more removal because they're now creatures. So
Generally, you want to put it down when you're going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, like, you sit there, you hit the austere command, you destroy all creatures, 3 or less, 4 or more, and then you opalescence and open the gates. Opalescence the gates.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like you keep saying how you've literally built this deck at home. You didn't like get anything outside of the what was it, Enchanted Evening, and it just cracks me up because I'm like, man, that's so hard to believe. But then I remember you live with Dan.
Oh, yeah. Our collection. Our
Like you guys.
I am what is called a problem.
our collection is what the kids call disgusting. So.
they are an LGS.
We're a local game home.
Yeah. This isn't a local game house, it's a local game home.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You guys are problems.
Thanks.
So right after Hope gets a little bit of group hug, she plays Overburden. Whenever a creature enters, that player returns a land they control to its owner's hand.
Which is also so funny.
Oh, I need to put this in Tulane now.
Yeah, do
I
it.
didn't know that there's a second one.
And then there's propaganda, because
Okay, it is non-token. I did double check.
Yeah,
So
it is on token.
whenever a player puts a non-token creature on the battlefield, that player returns it. It's still such brutal.
so then propaganda, 2 and a blue, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature that they control that's attacking you. Again, it's just
This in Ghostly Prison, so good.
Blue Ghostly Prison. Righteous Aura is the next one. It's 1 and a white, and for 1 white, pay 2 life. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. So if somebody's going to do more than 2 damage to you, then it's worth it.
Yep.
And I've done that many a time. Let me tell you what.
Rites of Flourishing. I love Rites of Flourishing. I can never get enough.
Me too. Like, yeah, sure, it's for everybody and whatever, but like again, like I'm refilling my hand constantly. I'm putting these cards in my hand. I am drawing. I am like
You're going to
am
benefit
gaining
more from this.
so
yeah.
much from this. So
Well, a good way to look at it too is if you do the whole Aura Thief route, you're just going to get more permanents later.
exactly, they're just putting them out for me to take home.
Well, we're playing for Ante, right? I get to take all your cards.
Ante it
Yeah,
up.
for sure. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's why they call her Anti-Hope.
We're adding. Nope. We're adding decks now.
Sigil of the Empty Throne. 3 white. Whenever you cast an
So
enchantment,
good.
create a white angel. Love it. Super good card.
So good.
Oh, so good.
And so the next card is one that I actually liked so much. I put it in the deck twice initially. So that's a Sphere of Safety. It's 4 and a white enchantment. Creatures can attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Good luck.
It's a problem card for sure.
I wish them the
So
utmost
if you
luck.
have everything out, they have to pay 28.
Yeah.
28 for each creature.
Assuming that I don't have any enchantment clerics, and also assuming that I'm not making anything else enchantments.
And that
Assuming
you
I'm
don't
not,
have Norn's Annex
and I-
propaganda.
and I'm not making any masks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come at me,
Yeah, so
Crater
like the
Hoof.
Just try.
you have to pay 50 to swing at me.
Just try.
So-
They cast your well-known friend Bane of Progress.
Ugh. Actually, you know what's so funny is we got a Bant of Progress. We haven't had one in the store in a little bit, so we got
They're
a
never
Bant.
in anyway.
Well, because somebody traded it in from Commander Green.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I looked at my boss and I was like, why is this card here? I'm like, did somebody buy it? And he's just like, no, it just came in. I was like, it's going out. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
mine.
gonna buy it.
Before any of us get it.
Yeah.
Band of Progress hurts.
A little selfish.
Were there any notable lands you wanted to talk about, Hope?
I can't remember.
Sarah Sanctum.
Probably like no, she doesn't.
There's no Sarah Sanctum.
There should be.
Not.
Probably Rogue's Passage you can buy.
Yeah, Rogue's Passage is pretty sweet just for the unblockable. But other than that, it's mostly just normal.
Look at those sweet, sweet expeditions in here. Sea of Clouds, Sea Chrome Coast.
Real talk, the expedition versions of those are so affordable. It's ridiculous.
That's literally what we were talking about yesterday. I built that Glen deck and
Isn't
I
that
picked up
dumb?
a Seachrome Coast. Yeah. I remember when I was really trying to keep up with Standard when during the Scars block, and getting these lands were so expensive, and now like I have this super beautiful Seachrome Coast and I paid $7 for it.
I was gonna say it's
yesterday on my
probably like
LGS.
$6 or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So cool.
10 out of 10 would recommend getting expeditions.
But yeah, that's Hope's baby Stax deck.
How do we feel?
So
I love it.
what would you, because I've not got to play against this deck and I've not seen this deck play, obviously, Hopes, what would you consider your strengths and weaknesses for this deck?
Strengths, leave me alone. Weaknesses, any enchantment removal. Literally any enchantment removal absolutely annihilates
A
me.
Merciless Eviction would just wreck your day.
Yeah.
That
So
Hope will pack up and go home.
yeah. Well, yeah, I would. No, I would never. But it's just, it really, really hurts. Enchantment removal absolutely destroys this deck. But again, not a lot of people play enough of it. So
Do you know what you should throw in here? Wheel of Sun and Moon.
I don't remember
that
what it
would
does
be-
because somebody buys them all.
Whenever a permanent would go to your graveyard, it goes to the bottom of your deck instead.
That would be really fun.
What is?
But then I
oh
can't
my
replenish.
gosh.
That's like by one.
Yeah, Brian, you
trick
gotta
to
replenish,
getting
bud.
around removal.
Yeah, Brian, I'm
no.
trying to just replenish everything.
I had that too.
Replenish is really
Players
fun if you
Wheel
can.
of Sun and Moon.
It's really fun to throw out all of these things because you're overdrawing, and then bam, replenish.
So
Yeah, that's true too.
Oh man, there's a card that I wanted to suggest because I had my Bant enchantment deck and it just made me think of it, but I cannot think of what it's called.
What does it
I want
do?
to say I think it's 2 green, and it's a sorcery from Innistrad. It's a rare. You choose a card type and you return from your graveyard all cards that share that type, and then it has flashback.
It's like creeping something.
I can see everyone's brains turning.
it hurts.
Creeping,
Discard.
creeping,
Creeping Renaissance, I think.
Yep, Creeping Renaissance.
Yeah.
3 green.
The
It's a
Renaissance,
rare
hope.
at Innistrad. You choose a permanent type, return all cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to your hand, and then flashback for 5 green. That would be super helpful if you're worried about one of the weaknesses, obviously being enchantment removal. Like as long as it's not exiled,
Yeah.
that's a good way to get him back into hand.
Well,
And
especially
with the-
I think Hope deals with weaknesses the same way I do, and it's by killing whatever player can do that first.
Dang, you're not wrong. Wow, I've never been more called out in my entire life. But that is
player
true.
Daniel died first the last time.
we don't talk about it enough, but player removal is a form of removal. Whether
Player
it's salty
removal
or
is,
not.
dare I say, the most effective form of removal. You don't need to edit your decks for that.
if someone has the chance to have a Merciless Eviction, you kill them as fast as you can. In this.
Yeah, if you're playing Orzhov, you're out, buddy.
No mercy in this dojo, buddy.
No. That's what I call a merciless eviction, am I right?
Yeah, and if you know that they
Hate
run,
myself.
if they run
was
a Bane of
painful,
Progress, you've got to go. No, I enjoyed it, Hope.
Yeah,
I support it.
still suck.
Anyways, Hope, tell everyone where they can find all our content.
Well, they can find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Into the 99. They can also find us on YouTube, where we post all of our podcasts and all of our gameplay videos. Speaking of gameplay videos, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we stream on Twitch. Zach is also working on some really cool new content for our YouTube, and I'm really excited to have everybody check that out.
Yeah, Zach and Benson with their parallel thoughts.
They rule.
Parallel thoughts.
Parallel
2 decks
thoughts.
into 1.
Also check our intothe99.com website. We have some awesome articles and information from all of our team, as well as our partner content creators. So check it out, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See ya.